Howdy fam, welcome back. Welcome to the channel if you're brand new here. I am Emily, otherwise known as Shamanism, otherwise known as M Organically. You can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. Welcome to the channel again if you're new, and welcome back if you aren't new. Disclaimer, editing Emily here. Hello, popping by again, which should hopefully not be a habit going forward. Meanwhile, I am here to apologize for the fact that I didn't even notice when I was recording this that you can hear my air conditioner so prominently. So I really do apologize. There isn't a whole heck of a lot I can do about that at this point, unfortunately. So hopefully it just dies out to become a part of the background and you won't notice that it's there. I apologize. I swear, guys, my content is going to be so much better going forward. Meanwhile, bear with me while we're all evolving together, shall we? So having said that, I know that the air conditioner is there. I'm very sorry. Try to ignore it and just listen to what I was saying. And I will maybe try to cover it with like some nice waves or something if I'm able to do that. I don't know if that'll help or hinder, but hey, if there's waves in there, you know why. Much love. See you guys soon. Bye. Today, I thought that I would share a little waffle. Not a long waffle, a small waffle. Little waffle. And what I wanted to waffle about today is gonna sound a little radical. And what I wanted to talk about was the craziest idea, which also is, I guess you could say, an experiment that I'm doing right now with my own life. And if you're sitting there going, well, what's the experiment? So essentially it's this. For most of my life, I had this belief, whatever, make of that what you will, that in order, I know how this sounds, that's why I'm sort of chuckling at myself, but that the way things work are, you work really hard towards a goal, and then you get the goal, and then you're happy. Now, I know how incredibly simplistic that is and how kind of naive that is. And essentially, for the majority of my life, I was and I think I've said this in a previous video, I am used to be anyway, one of the biggest people pleasers. And to the extent that which, for the majority of my life, I had not considered myself first and foremost. And you know, these days you hear things like that classic example of put your own oxygen mask on before you try to help somebody else with theirs. And it's like this classic case. And it's crazy to me now to be realizing this at this age, because what I'm realizing is that for the majority of my life, I hadn't prioritized myself. And although, and I think I've spoken about this before, like I said, it feels so selfish. And as strange as this may seem for me to be encouraging you, I'm essentially here to encourage you to be selfish. Not, of course, to hurt people or anything like that. Like, don't be harmful. That's, you know, sort of my one rule of life is like, whatever you're doing, as long as it's not harming anyone, then it's okay. You know, as long as everybody is consenting in the situation or whatever, and you're not doing any harm, then you're good. And it's funny that that's my ethos, because this is the first time in my life, y'all, seriously, that I have put me first. And it feels, I'm just going to be honest with you, it feels really uncomfortable and really weird. And like I'm suddenly becoming, I don't really know what the right word is, almost just, I don't know, ignoring my friends and the people that I care about and things like that. When in actual fact, it's not that at all. I still very much care for the people that I care about and love in my life. And yet it's like, if I don't take the time, and it's really crazy that this works, like mentally, my logical mind is still very much tripping over this. And yet what's happening is essentially that the more I put myself first, and instead of allowing my day to be organized and controlled by, I don't know, whatever the automatic setting is, say when we wake up first thing in the morning, when you catch that, you know, there comes a time where if you choose to become aware of this stuff, that you can catch your mind in the morning before it gets on that autopilot mode. And if you then can like set your intention instead. I was also just thinking about this, and this may be what I title the video, I don't know. What I realized today is that two things. First is that intention is everything. I mean, it's literally everything. It is so much more than we make out intentions to be. We just kind of like, when we talk about manifesting stuff, we just kind of skip over we're like, oh yeah, you know, set an intention, and then we move on. No, like intention, y'all, is everything. So intention is everything. And putting yourself first and making sure that you are happy. Like, I know it sounds just odd, because as kids we were broken and told by society at large or whatever that life isn't full of this magic, which actually, guys, inherently love and magic is all around us all the time and inside of all of us. Yes, even you right now. Like, you are a being of love and light, period. Full stop, point blank, mic drop. Boop. So the reason I wanted to make the video was because this experiment that I'm doing with my life, and I urge you really to come along with me on this journey and to try it for yourselves as well, because of the incredible, like, let's say I've been trying this for literally, maybe it's day 3 now, right? That I've been embracing this new philosophy of my own life, which is to live according to if I feel good first. And I know that like I've said, that sounds really weird. And yet it is having amazing results in my life, which again is my logical brain, guys, literally can't quite conceive of this yet. It's trying to understand that life, and this is what I wanted to share with y'all. If you start living according to that instead, I'm excited to hear. In fact, I would love if this video becomes a thing where people come back and they share how their lives are improving as they start to put themselves and whether they feel happy first and foremost. Like, I know how that sounds. You get up in the morning and let's say you have kids, right? You're thinking about, like, maybe everybody else's needs. You're not even thinking about yourself. Today, try this for even just a day and see what happens. Like, if you're skeptical for whatever reason, try this for one day even. Put yourself first. When you get up in the morning, no matter what you think your responsibilities are, no matter what you think you're obligated to do, if you wake up and you feel off for any reason, immediately do something that makes you feel good. Like, literally right now, if that's right now, if you've had a rough morning, a rough day, or whatever at this point, pause this video right now and immediately go and do something that you enjoy. I'm serious. Right this second. I'm going to even pause just a sec, like for a brief moment, so that you know that I'm seriously encouraging you to, if you've had a not good day, if anything is wrong, anything's off in your energy at all, immediately, right this second, pause the video and go do it now. If it's coloring, if it's listening to music, if it's dancing, if it's taking a walk, whatever it is for you, if it's playing a video game, go do it. If that will make you happy in this moment, happier than you are, do that. So what am I here saying to you all? I'm here saying that the big secret of life that most people literally will not share with you, and which to some extent is something that you have to experience for yourself as well. However, most people, I've never found anyone particularly shared this before. It's almost like it's said and we think that it's too good to be true, and so we just don't even pay attention to it. You know, so anyway, what I'm saying is put you first. Prioritize your happiness first. And the longer that you spend being happy for a consecutive period of time, you'll just watch. I urge you to just watch your life and see what happens. You know, and again, I say, put that in the comments. Tell me what's happening in your life if you're trying this. Because for me, it's meant that I've attracted some incredible, like loyal, gentle, caring, heartfelt, amazing friends of late, and connections which are allowing me to step into my leadership. I mean, doors are opening, things are happening, and I don't say that lightly. That's why when I sat down to make a video for Talking Thursday today, I thought, am I going to talk about this? Does this seem too mainstream, or like not mainstream? Because actually no one's talking about this. It's like the great overlooked thing, is that the actual key to the universe, seriously, to everything. I could not be kidding less about that. The key to everything, y'all, is putting yourself and your own happiness first. The more you live in your own happiness and in love, the more that your external experience will reflect that. Because if you don't know that, if you haven't come to this understanding yet in your life or discovered this, the way that we feel internally is exactly what we get and receive from the external world. So basically the whole world is a mirror of what you feel internally. So that's the exciting part of this, guys. What most people overlook is that if we focused on being happy first, so many more doors would open. What we get stuck in, and I get this, believe me, I am so there with you. If I was like this up until this point in my life. it's very seductive, for lack of a better word. It's very seductive to fall into this lull that society has of, I come home, I go to get up in the morning, I eat my breakfast, I go to work, I come home, I take care of the kids, I kiss them goodnight, or dinner was probably in there somewhere. You kiss them goodnight, you go to sleep, rinse, repeat. That is not what life is all about, guys. If there's another take-home message for this video, it's just that understand that life is so much more beautiful than you're probably giving it credit for. And I don't say that in a fluffy bunny, little butterfly, unicorn way. I mean that very literally. We are so much in our own way that it boggles my mind. I didn't even realize how much I was in my own way. I know it sounds overly simplistic to say just follow your joy and keep on following that. And the more it just snowballs positively, guys. Like I said, and I fully intend to keep you guys updated as to the positive, things. For example, I'll just give you a for instance, if you're curious, oh, well, how might this apply in my life? Okay, so for example, something I talked about the other day in one of my lives or something was, so I know that life often seems, the words of advice that we're given, that we hear sometimes, follow your joy, get said so much that we think that they lose their meaning, or we think that they don't mean anything, or that they're not true, which is worse. So today I invite you with my full heart open wide to try this experiment in your own life, because it's been amazingly exciting and good for me. And I want to see you guys happy. That is the whole reason, I'm here, is I have always felt to bring joy and laughter and love to people's lives. And if I can do that through sharing my experience with you guys, then great. So, I remember what I was saying now. It's just that I intend to continue to update you guys as to what's going on in my life. Oh, and one of the examples I remember now, what I was giving was that, if you remember, a few Talking Thursdays ago, I think maybe even my first episode of it, I was telling you guys about how I wanted to read a book on the channel. Now, previous Emily would have not only shied away from that experience, because being on the phone used to scare the crap out of me. It used to give me a lot of anxiety, and thankfully up until now, that's not really too much of an issue anymore. So anyway, I had called this, the author of the book that I wanted to read on the channel, I had called her publisher, because that was the contact information that I had found, or something like that. And so the long story short of this, to tie it into, the subject of today's video, is the fact that had I not followed that urge, first, that's the other thing I want to say, is follow your urges. Those urges that you have to do something are not random. That is the universe telling you to follow that. If it excites you, do it. End of. So anyhow, if I had not gotten excited about the idea of reading the book on the channel, and then had I not followed through with that and called this lady despite my fear and anxiety over calling her, I wouldn't have heard back from her. So that was what I wanted to share, that because I chose to trust, and I chose love and belief, and to follow my joy and my excitement, and this was something that made me very excited, was the idea. So even though there was some fear involved, I still moved because it was exciting and more full of joy and excitement and happiness for me. And it paid off, because I discovered the other day that I have a voicemail in my inbox from the publisher, and who's way down in Tennessee. And the other funny thing, just as a coincidental, interesting side note, was that I discovered that the author of the book, this is so crazy, guys. I don't know. My life is so interesting these days. It's so science fiction novel. Turns out that the author of this book lives in Vermont, which is where I live, y'all. And I was just so I'm calling your publisher down in Tennessee, but actually we live in the same state. So I kind of had this hilarious debate in my head where I was like, should I yellow pages her and just call her the actual author? And I thought, no, let me go through proper channels and contact her publisher first. But what I wanted to share was, had I not followed my excitement, had I not followed my joy in wanting to read books on the channel, then I wouldn't be here. And I got the unexpected, awesome result of that the publisher called me back. Guys, to give you some context, this book that I wanted to read was written by the lady who wrote The Bridge to Terabithia. Now, I don't know if you know, but when I was a kid, that was a big book, very popular. And I think maybe even we had to read it actually in high school, when I was in high school, as part of our English class or whatever. So at any rate, this lady lives in Vermont, and her publisher got back to me, and I just need to like get over my nerves of listening to it and get her back. But I wanted to share that. So follow your joy is the message of this video. And I know that it's simplistic, and I know that it seems like too good to be true, but you know what? I want to reframe that for all of you is that if something from now on seems too good to be true, know and understand that it is so good that it is true. Because life, we are often so lulled back into this just kind of monotonous hamster wheel of what life in the 3D is. And I would urge you so much, with so much love, to step out of that, because life can be so incredible and it can really pick up speed fast, is what I'm learning. So that is a long enough waffle for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me here today. Please do subscribe if you enjoyed any part of this video, if it was helpful to you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you want to with anyone who could benefit from hearing this, because it is the truth. If there is nothing else that you get from my channel, y'all, it will be absolutely, I was going to say unnegotiably, that's not a word, but irrefutably, whatever. It's without a doubt going to always house the truth. This is a house of truth, love, safety, space, peace, well, yeah, sure, I do love space, peace, and those are the kinds of things that I want to cultivate within y'all and my community, the people that I love in the world. So anyway, thank you for spending your time with me. Please do subscribe. Again, I upload every single day. Talking head videos, however, are not an everyday thing. I mostly make meditations to help you all sleep and relax and get back to your higher self so that you can live your best life. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Know that if no one else has told you that you are valuable, you are loved, and I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your week. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. But essentially, so have a beautiful rest of your week, rest of your day, be it day, morning, night time, whenever it is when you see this. You know what happened, guys? I got distracted because I was looking at my new toy. I got this, which might not look like it. It's not super fancy, and ignore the tags that are on it, but this, y'all, is a it's a pillow that is a New York stuffed, or not a stuffed pretzel, but a New York pretzel. And how special is that? Anyway, and I think I've said this in a previous video. Oh, it just went out of my head. Mother trucker. It had something to do with feeling good and all of this that I'm telling you guys now. And now it's gone from my head. Sugar, that really does suck when that happens. Well, I'm going to be cutting this out probably, I guess. Murgle.